All right, everyone. Welcome back. We are here. It's Strange Famous, and it's 2024, and I have Jenn Goldman here with me today. We're going to talk about what she's doing, what she survived, and what's coming up next. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Relax, recharge, and refresh with Sweet Buds Dispensary, where quality meets care. From premium products to expert advice, we're here to help you find your perfect vibe. Experience Maryland's trusted source for wellness. Sweet Buds Dispensary, the natural choice.
Stand out with bold, original content. At Medina Media Productions, we craft creative, engaging posts, manage your social media, and drive real leads that convert. From eye-catching visuals to scroll-stopping videos, we bring your brand to life. Let's turn followers into customers. Hear the difference at Frederick Recording Studio. Audio recording, mixing and mastering, voiceover and ADR, audio post-production for film and TV, mobile recording, video production services, and more. Contact us today.
All right, we're back. Welcome to Strange Famous 2024. I am your host, Caroline Hutchison, and it is so good to see you here tonight. Thank you for joining us. It might be morning. I don't know. You can watch us at any time. We are streaming on everything, Jen. We're literally everywhere.
Everything, Jen.
Everything.
Oh,
We're
Lord.
all over
How
the
long
place.
have we got?
Well, you and I can talk as long as we want, but I think this episode's going to be a little bit around 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
But it's so good to have you here today.
Thank you.
Jenn
really
Goldman.
Excited. That's it.
Born and raised in?
So started out in Hagerstown for the first 12 years.
Okay.
And then my family moved to Virginia. And I spent most of my life there until 2 years ago. Cycled right back to Hagerstown.
And why?
Came full circle.
Why are you back in Hagerstown?
My mother, who was living in the house that they purchased way back in the 70s, decided she no longer wanted to take care of it. So moved mom into an independent living situation, and I've taken over the house now.
So you're back home.
I'm home. Yeah,
That's
my
kinda
life has
cool.
come total full circle.
What does that feel like?
It's strange.
It's strange, I bet. I bet it is strange.
It is very strange.
Okay.
Yes. So fixing it up a little bit, and I'll find another.
That's cool, though. That's really cool. Like, my family are all in Michigan. I wish I was closer.
Nice.
Like, we're far apart physically. And I'm like,
hard.
It is.
I didn't realize. So I finally made my breakaway, and I moved to Connecticut a few years ago.
Okay.
And it was hard because when mom needed me or my kids needed me, I was 6 hours away.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I just
I
feel
didn't
like
it.
I feel right now like my parents are getting older. They're not like at that point where they really need me yet, but they're also like at the point where they're retiring, and I could be spending time with them. I could be doing more stuff. My grandparents are all still alive. Like,
oh wow,
I feel like I
lucky.
really want to like get back and spend more time with my family and reconnect with them.
It's
and,
nice to be closer.
But
I mean, my mom doesn't really need me either.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be close enough to do things and know that I'm close enough when she does.
Sure. So I want to talk about your business, but first I want to talk about something a little more personal.
Okay. I know where you're headed.
Do you?
I think so.
The big C.
The big C.
The big C.
So much
Fuck
fun.
Cancer,
oh my gosh.
You know? Just
yeah,
totally...
I didn't wear my socks. I have socks that say, Dear Cancer, you picked the wrong bitch.
I got a little pink ribbon on permanently.
Okay, I did not do that. Well,
I've
had things
weird,
done that
Jen.
have marked me
I was
permanently because of
gonna
cancer.
say,
Anyway.
You probably have your own marks that are permanent.
I do. So
tell me about what happened. I mean, so
a year ago, or last August, 2023, I had a routine mammogram. Nothing was wrong with me. I just went in. Everybody go get them examined.
Yeah.
It's important because there was nothing wrong with me. I had no idea, and turned out I had cancer in 3 different spots in one breast, which the doctor said was really rare. I was so special. Like, that's where I wanted to stand out.
Great.
I went through all the treatment. I had to have a mastectomy, reconstructive surgery. I was really lucky. They caught it so early that I didn't need to do radiation or chemotherapy. So just take medication for the next 5 years and try to live right.
Wow.
I was really lucky.
Thank
I've
God.
seen a lot of heartache and heartbreak with people who have much worse cases than I did.
You. I had a scare.
It wasn't
year.
easy. It wasn't fun.
I guess it was like 2 years ago. I had found a lump in my breast, and I was like,
that
"Oh
must
my
be
gosh!"
really
It was
scary.
so scary, and so I went in, and they're like, "Oh, it's nothing. It's just like fatty tissue and whatever. And like, it's just, you know, you're aging. I'm like,
women of a certain
"Stop,
age,
don't
we love to hear
say
that, don't we?"
Shut up. But it's true. I mean, you do need to pay attention. Like I kept thinking, okay, if this is something, I probably caught it like way early enough that it's not going to be, you know, like I just like tried to keep a positive mindset about it. But, you know, what went through your head? What was that feeling? And like, there's so many resources in Frederick too. There's so many like support systems and stuff.
Yes,
for
and Hagerstown too. We've
Right.
got Breast Cancer Awareness, great organization. We just had our gingerbread making Christmas party yesterday.
Cool.
So much fun. But yeah, there's a lot of resources.
Did you put titties on all the gingerbread men?
I didn't think to do that. You should have been there with me. I had no construction plan whatsoever. But it's, you know, it's grounded me a little bit.
Sure.
And, you know, I hit cancer, 50, and menopause like all in one fell swoop.
Dang,
so trust me, when we talk about things that you need to know about your body, it's crucial.
It's real.
Like, yeah, and it's right there in your face at this point at a certain age.
And don't be afraid to like ask questions. You know, I feel like that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Like people are scared, but there's so many resources out there. Like it was, for me, I felt like it was so easy to get answers. Like I felt like there were so many people offering me support. As soon as I thought that I had a lump in my breast, it was like I had all these women like, don't worry, we'll be there for you. And I was like,
it's
what?
an amazing
This is
community.
incredible. I had no idea that, you know, I didn't know I had like that kind of support out of nowhere, people I didn't know, but there's so many resources. So I just wanted to talk about it and try to make it so it's not like it's taboo, but I feel like people don't like talking about it because it's depressing and it's sad. But
it is. I mean, some people don't want to know anything about it.
Right.
But it's important to talk about because in your lifetime, you're likely going to have to deal with it in one respect or another, whether it's you or a spouse or, you know,
and do you have
child,
family
best
members
friend.
that had cancer? Is it hereditary?
I do.
for you?
So I do have family members that had it, but it's not hereditary. I took all the genetics testing and I had no genetic predisposition to that kind of or any other kind of cancer. So it's just some random lucky streak.
You
for
lucky
me.
girl.
I know.
Look at you surviving, you know?
Surviving. So it's been a little over a year now since my first surgery.
Well, I'm so glad
Doing
you're
all right.
here, and
Thank
I'm so
you, me
glad
too.
that you're rocking and rolling and here to tell other people, you know, about your story and
It is.
hopefully inspire other people maybe going through something scary or even
You just keep going.
you know, just keep it
You
going.
have to ask all the questions. You know, I came from a family where my father, I mean, he would be a doorstep.
Dead as a doorknob. Is
Something
what
like
you're
that.
saying?
No, but he would he'd be knocking on heaven's door before he would go see a doctor.
Oh, I
he didn't
gotcha.
want to know. Like, you know, terrible, awful things would happen, but
My
he was
grandma's
not going to
like that.
go. And
she's pulled her own teeth and all kinds of stuff.
Ooh.
She's savage, farm lady. I love
wow.
her.
My teeth hurt just hearing that.
She's intense.
Wow, no. But so it was really important for me to realize what a hardship that was growing up watching my father needing doctors and never
Yes.
going to one to I always go now. Like routine everything, you know, every year I'm going to go, I'm going to check. I want to know all the answers. I'm going to find it out because the sooner you can find out, the sooner you can deal.
Prevention is the best medicine. That's what they say, right? Like preventative medicine or catching it early, right?
Yeah, early detection. Get your mammograms.
Well,
All the lady parts checked out. all the
amazing
time. Maybe not
to
all the
know
time.
that like there's resources out there, and I'm sure that there's places you can recommend talking to. So we can put some links in the video and
I have
suggest some
a
people if
cancer
people have
blog that I put out.
questions. There you go.
For anyone who wants to, what did I say? Laugh, cry, or curse in the face of cancer.
Perfect. We'll put a link to your
So,
blog right in the video down
And
in the
BCA
things.
too. They're a great organization in Hagerstown.
Cool. So we're in Hagerstown together. We're
Yeah.
incubators together.
We're incubating.
We're incubating together. So we are both
I love
a
that
member.
word. It always makes me think of chickens. But then
Yes,
again, I
it
was
does,
in
right?
agriculture
I'm a
county.
farmer. Like growing up, I was a farmer. We always had incubator running with some eggs in it. So yeah, we're
No chickens for us. Though.
There's no chickens
No, I
there.
don't do chickens.
I wish there was chickens. That would be kind of cool.
Really? No.
No. Anyways, the incubator is fascinating. Like Maureen was on the show. So
Oh,
I had
really?
her
I
in,
haven't
yeah,
seen- has
and
I'll
it
have
was
to go check it
I
out.
haven't aired it yet. I
Okay,
haven't aired it
that's-
yet, but I'll send you the
maybe
link to it. But
Okay.
you know, we talked about how it's so cool. There's so many different types of businesses there. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just like, oh, it's just made for culinary arts or it's just made for business people. It's like all kinds of different random
lots of different
things
consultants,
there.
web designers.
Yeah. So I'm
wealth
media.
managers.
You do consulting for nonprofits, right? So where did this where did this inspiration come from? I
So-
mean, I know the story, but I wanted
You
to
know
tell
the
you
story.
guys. Yeah.
Will I say it the same?
I
We'll
don't know.
see.
I didn't. I won't quote you, so we'll see.
So I always say I'm a recovering executive director, which will never go away. It's like alcoholism, right? You're always recovering. It's never
You're
cured.
still there.
I ran a nonprofit for 5 years, which was great. It was huge, challenging. I loved it. But I have a business management degree, and literally the first day I got the job, I walked in and I checked my degree at the door because I thought, well, this is a nonprofit and I don't know anything about nonprofit, so I'm going to let these people tell me how to do it. And I realized very soon that I had shot myself in the foot because really a nonprofit is a business and
Sure.
you need to run it like a business. And it was a small community nonprofit, and we did all of our own fundraising. But really, what it boiled down to is there was one employee and 16 board members who comprised a working board, but who weren't really working. And so it became my job to do everything that all these 16 people had great ideas to do. And now looking back and seeing what management style I should have led with, and delegating things and making sure that the board was functioning the way it should have been. I mean, we did some great things, don't get me wrong. I didn't do everything wrong. But looking back now, I can see how my business management degree should have played into that. And working with smaller nonprofits now to help them sort of flip that model, I made what I call the Christmas tree model, where the opposite is the exclamation point, which is what I see a lot of groups doing, where they have all these people on top that file down all their good ideas to that point at the bottom, which is their executive director. And I said, let's flip that, and let's put the executive director as the bright, shiny star at the top, and have them managing and delegating to the staff and the board to help fill out committees and really working the program so that you have a dozen or more people that are carrying out the programs and the work of the organization instead of just one executive director. So we talk about managing from the top and not down in the trenches.
I love it. And I mean, we talked at lunch, obviously. I know a little bit about what you're doing, but I think it's amazing because I'm on a board right now, like I told you, for a nonprofit, and it's exactly where we are. Like, we're exactly the person that you need to reach. We have this amazing board of people. We're all hungry and eager, but we don't know what we're supposed to do. Honestly, we're all like, okay, we're all here to help, but what do? We feel like we're waiting for direction from the executive director.
And that's it too.
And
they need to delegate.
He doesn't want to delegate because he feels like we're all volunteering. So he's like, well, I don't want to put too much on them, but we're like, we're here. We're eager to help. We volunteer.
And
We
it's
signed
good
up
to
for
know
this.
that.
We signed up for this for a reason, like we're here to do, let us in, coach. That
Well,
kind
there's
of
hope
thing.
then, because I hear
Take us
from a
off the
lot
bench.
of organizations where the executive director is worried because their board isn't really engaged. They're not wanting to do anything. So kudos to you and the rest of your board members.
Go say talk.
But yeah, you need to teach your executive director how to manage from the top and how to delegate down and trust. It really does come down to trust. I know it's probably his baby if he's the founder.
It is, definitely.
It's hard to give out pieces of things and trust that everyone will do.
And thinking
as
that
good
you
a job
don't
as you
need
would
a
do.
shoestring budget, right? We
Yeah,
talked about
that's my other
that.
thing.
That's the
Oh my
big
gosh.
thing, right?
That's one of those phrases that, no.
Just because you're a nonprofit doesn't mean you shouldn't have money.
Correct.
Right.
And I was talking to, I posted something on LinkedIn, and the director of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation commented on there. She said, one of my favorite expressions is that nonprofit is a poor business model. And that, because that is one of my bandwagons is stop cutting costs. Stop trying to be cheaper and get everything for free or discount. Really look at the true cost of doing business for your organization and budget above that, because you need a buffer. The other thing that people do that I send them right back to the drawing board, don't ever show me a balanced budget. I never want to see a budget where your income and your expenses are exactly the same.
Right.
Because what if you're wrong? You're wrong by $1. Now you're in
Now you have
red.
nothing. Right.
Yeah. Like who's cutting the check at the end of the year if you're wrong with any of that?
Sure. And so your goal, you come in as the problem solver for these nonprofits and tell them
what to do. No.
Yeah, I mean, like,
was what my mother
stop
said.
shooting here when you should be shooting here, right?
Right. Like I'm a big picture person. I'm a problem solver. I'm a puzzle person. I love creative solutions. Like, let's work on where you are, if you're here, and get you to here. Because there are so many great nonprofits with great missions, and they deserve to thrive. But they will never do it. You'll always stay small if all you're going to do is keep your budget low and your overhead low and never hire people and never really push out your programs.
I think that's pretty common in a nonprofit, though, because a nonprofit's usually started because somebody has a passion for something. Right. They see something happened or something, terrible happen in their life, and they see a need, and they're like, oh, I'm passionate. I want to fix this problem. And they have all the passion needed, but they don't have the business background, the financial background. It's just like being an
entrepreneur, right? There are lots of entrepreneurs who know about that thing, that hobby, that passion that they have, but they don't necessarily know how to run a business. And it's the same thing with nonprofits. They're founded by somebody who has a passion to solve something in their community, but they don't necessarily know how to run the business of a nonprofit.
Sure. Makes sense. So do you have like a certain process you put them through, or is it just like onboarding, analyzing what they do, and then building a new vision for their board? Or
well, it depends on what their process or what the priorities are. Where their challenges are. Usually we start with one of two things: putting together a funding plan or putting together a strategic plan. So really, if all they're thinking is their problems are money, we'll work on the funding plan and figuring out what income streams they need. If they need an overall direction, maybe something that gets all the board on the same page, we'll put together a strategic plan and figure out where they need to be. I usually do a 3-year plan. I don't like 5-year plans. I feel like COVID taught us one thing. It's you never know what's coming right around the corner. Like 5 years is too far to plan out.
Taught us a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. There were some hard but good lessons there.
That's really, like, I feel like valuable information for a nonprofit, because I think a lot of people, like, I have an idea for a nonprofit, like I shared with you, but I'm like, I don't know what to, like, how do you get started, and where do you go, and what is a differentiator between starting a business that's a normal business and starting a business that's a nonprofit? Like, what is the difference?
So the very first step is the same.
Okay.
You go to the state's website, you pick your name, and you file for an LLC.
Okay.
So literally, a nonprofit is an LLC. You just, as a nonprofit, then you file additional paperwork to become tax exempt.
And
but that's all that is.
Makes you a nonprofit? Like, what do you have to do to be determined to be a nonprofit?
Well, you have to satisfy a certain purpose. That what you're doing is going to be helpful to the community. Basically, you're also assuring that no one owns this entity. You're going to have I think it's 3 board members you have to name when you originally form.
Okay.
And so those 3 people become responsible, but nobody owns that entity. And you have to serve your community, and you have to reinvest
what you make
back into your community and your programs.
So you just have to have like a business plan, essentially, that qualifies for that. So what do you think is the moment when you're starting a business, when you're determining, like, should I make this a non-profit, or should I just make it a regular profit business? Like, is there a certain set of questions you should ask yourself?
I don't know. No one's ever asked me that before. That's really interesting. I feel like most people just know. Yeah. Stump a guest. Great. No. I feel like most people just know. Like this, I'm starting a business, or I'm starting a nonprofit.
So it's more like a mindset, like going into it. This is something I want to do for the greater good.
I've met very few people who are like sort of have crossovers, and for some of them, it is starting a business to help fund the nonprofit that they want to start too. So one starts to file money back and forth. Plus the nonprofit, of course, is where you want to have the most income.
Makes sense. I've
That's
seen
what I
some
don't
businesses
understand.
where they're like, okay, we want to do something in addition to what we're doing to raise money for this cause. So the business has its own thing going, and then
Right.
maybe they want to form like their own scholarship fund to pay for kids that can't get into their program, or like people that need help doing what they're trying to do. They see a need,
Yeah.
so they form a nonprofit. That's another way
I
I
think
see a
that's
lot
great.
of nonprofits coming about, I guess, lately. So
Yeah. I don't get it, really, the mindset at this point of where I am in my career, because if you are a tax exempt company, why wouldn't you be going after the most income you could possibly get?
yeah,
It's like, that's the advantage to you. You don't pay income tax on that,
and then you can do more,
or revenues.
right?
tax.
And you can grow, be
So
bigger.
yeah, as long as
do
you're
more.
putting that money back into your community and your programs, you can make as much as you want.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, there's
Well-
lots of money out there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's so many things that people, don't know when they're starting a business. You know what I mean? Like when I started my business, I'm taking the principles of entrepreneurship class at the college right now.
Are you?
And I've
Okay.
been an entrepreneur for 12 years.
Okay.
And I have learned
there principles
so
you don't know?
much. So, oh my gosh, insane amount
That's
of
good.
stuff. Insane. Like just thinking of things differently, or thinking of like, funding opportunities differently, or, just resources that you don't really think of accessing as a business owner. You're just like, oh, I'm used to doing it this way, so I'm going to keep doing it. And it's hard, but I'm just going to keep chipping away at it. But it's like, well, dang,
So if
there
someone
was,
is stubborn like me.
yeah, there's like a million resources. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's kind of what
That
you're trying
reminds me,
to
we
do. Mm-hmm.
had somebody who came in from the, I'm going to get it wrong, something Maryland Consortium.
Yeah, the Western Maryland Consortium.
There it is.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, she had a bunch of options that I followed up about one. I need to call her back.
Yes, exactly. I've leveraged them twice now. I've had 2 people come from Western Maryland Consortium to work for me.
Okay.
And they, who would have known, right? They have people that want job placement. They need work experience. They will literally have a job coach
That's
working
very cool.
with them, on site with them sometimes to make sure they're doing their job. And they pay,
That's great.
they pay their employment cost. So it's free labor to you as a small business
That's
owner,
nice.
gives them work experience, and also allows you to kind of test this person and see if they're a good fit for your business before you take them on as an employee. So
That's awesome.
but that's like the incubator all around. That's the incubator
Yeah.
helping my business grow. And
Oh my
like,
gosh, they have so many
the
resources
tools and
for
resources.
whatever you need.
Yeah. So very huge blessing to be there and to meet people
It's
like
fun.
you,
Yeah,
right?
it's fun.
Like
and
what
we
a great
have our pit session tomorrow.
Yes, I'm excited about
Lunch.
that. Yes, free lunch at the pit
Lunch and
sessions
learn.
and lots of information. I
Yeah.
had a good time presenting last
You were
week.
awesome, by the
Thanks.
way.
That
Yeah,
was
you
so fun.
inspired. I had to send your presentation to one of my friends. She's like, oh, I want to see all those Instagram tips.
That was fun. I didn't
We're
really
out there
know.
following and unfollowing.
Yeah, grow that following, girl. Keep it going.
Getting there. We're getting
It's all
there.
about the
I think I've
algorithms.
grown. And I know this is probably nothing for you, but I think I have like 140 new followers since we had that discussion.
That's
which,
good.
Like, that's huge for me.
Right. Spread the word, man. Tell your friends.
So,
But I mean, I think that the biggest thing that I've taken away from meeting you is just like that nonprofits don't have to be a struggling entity. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of the vision I've always had, is like everyone else. So you kind of think like, oh, we'll do things like for the smallest budget.
yeah.
Like that's kind
Ask
of like,
for free.
yeah, like we should be like asking for the least possible, but that's not the mindset we should have. We
No.
should have a mindset of
And
asking
it's-
for the most we can think of, and then if we
Oh,
get
yeah.
less, then that's fine. Just use all of it.
I try to tell people to think about significance. What will bring significance to your organization? What will have that impact that allows you to do all the things you want to do? One of the questions I find really interesting to ask nonprofit leaders is, if someone donated $1 million to you tomorrow, what would you do differently?
Right.
And it's amazing what people will say. Like, I would hire somebody else, another staff member. I would dump this event that we do that I hate doing. I would, whatever their answers are. I'm like, none of those things cost anywhere near $1 million. So you could do that. You need to fundraise, but also think about it. If you have extra staff people, that's more people to help you find more money too.
Right.
And hopefully, hire somebody. If they can't bring in enough money to even pay their own salary, well, maybe they don't stay that long.
Sure.
But, go for it. Expand, grow.
Yeah. Carpe your diem, girl.
Exactly.
Well, I love talking to you. I could talk to you all day, Jen.
I know.
I really
This
am
is
very
fun.
grateful that
She's
I
going
met
to tell me
you.
I have to go now, isn't she?
Yeah, it's that time. But we could do this again for sure.
Absolutely. I'd love
And
to.
so any nonprofits, I feel like you're solving problems for people out there they don't even know they have, right? So they need to contact
Most
you.
of them know the problems they have. They just don't really know where to start to solve them. So
Maybe
yeah.
you can inspire them to do bigger things, though. I feel like
I would like to do
that's
that.
a big part of
I
what
would
you're
love
doing.
to see smaller nonprofits growing into larger nonprofits, well funded, well staffed. That's my dream.
Well, you can be found everywhere. I know that. You're on all social media
Me,
platforms
oh, yeah.
now. I see you on LinkedIn.
I'm not on all
I
of them,
see
but
you
yeah,
on
LinkedIn,
Instagram and
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Cool. Jen,
Those are my thing.
Goldman.
So usually so I realized a long time ago there are a billion Jennifer Goldmans in the world. So you have to look me up by Jennifer E. Goldman because apparently without my middle initial, I am nowhere to be found.
Well, we'll put links to everything in the posts and stuff we do. But people listening, make sure you put that E in there. Jennifer
Jennifer E. Goldman.
And I'm sure if you look up, nonprofit coaching or, Hagerstown nonprofit, Jennifer
I'm
Goldman,
hoping I'm out there on the internet
coming
enough
up.
that, yeah.
Yes.
If you Google me, you'll find me.
The SEOs are working in your favor.
I'm hoping.
Well, thanks again for coming. I
You're
really,
welcome.
really
Thanks for having
appreciate
me.
you coming.
Last comment. Those are awesome glasses.
Thanks.
I love those.
I really appreciate that. Zenni Optical. $7. Can you believe that?
Nice.
I would encourage anyone that has kids to check out Zenni.
Zenni.
They're
Very cool.
really awesome. $7 a pair. Prescription glasses.
They look fabulous on you.
And I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, it was super good again to see you. And I'm so glad that you beat cancer,
Thank
I
you.
cancer say that enough. Fuck
Thank
cancer. You know what I mean?
Fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer.
I'm still here.
Yeah. Keep it going.
Can't
girl.
have me.
Keep it going. All right. So, any nonprofit people out there seeking help, guidance, advice, you got questions, she's got the answers, hit her up.
Except for, if you stump me like that one.
Stump her. Do it. Let me know when you stump her. I like that. All right.
You'll hear it.
Thank you so much for joining us. Again, we are here. We're weird. And this is Strange Famous. We'll see you next time. Bye.
I like that you included me in that. We're weird.
Thank you for tuning in to Strange Famous Frederick, hosted by me, Caroline Hutchison, produced by Medina Media Productions, audio by Frederick Recording Studio and Robin Smith Productions, video by Beaver Enterprise Group, sponsored by Sweet Buds Dispensary, My Salon Suite, and Maryland Windows, Doors, and Roofs. Visit us online at strangefamousshow.com.